We're recording a podcast. Stu told me to tell you this cold open that I had. There was a player in the NFL. He was a running back. His nickname was the Law Firm. That's because his name was Benjarvis Green Ellis. Sounds like a law firm.
Not as funny on the second telling. Sorry, everybody. Seemed amusing first time round. And I'm sorry, Monty, because now I've left you in a position where you've said something a bit dull.
Benjarvis Green Ellis. The law firm.
Okay, I've got a bit of Shania Twain in my head this week. I don't know what to do about it.
Dude, we've been having a lot of Shania Twain play at my house. This woman, Man, I Feel Like a Woman's been playing at my house. What do you got?
That don't impress me much.
Oh, it's a good tune.
And then, If You're Not In It For Love.
Less of a good tune, but still a tune.
Yeah. So it's because I've been listening to the Ross Noble podcast, which is a recommendation. Ross Noble, Ed Cavalier. The premise is that at the start was that they would review a music film clip each week, but they did 2 or 3, and then they got to Shania Twain's that don't impress me much, and then never actually got round to...
Was that Italian, Shania Twain? That don't impress me much.
It was a bit racist of her to sing it like that, wasn't it?
It was weird.
Yeah. But yeah, they didn't actually get around to analysing that film clip, so it just became a kind of weird waiting for Godot situation where the whole thing is, are they going to get back to the film clip, or are they just going to keep going off on tangents? Actually, they're
doing us.
They're trying to battle us as the most tangential podcast out there.
Do they record in a car?
No, but I think those aren't mutually inclusive necessarily.
No, but we're in a category of our own with the car thing. Speaking of which, I want to point out something about the car. We are driving to work today, so it's one of the to work ones, so you'll get that vibe. But also, we're going away we don't normally go. So we might get some new visual gags on the way.
That's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
There might be more blinker sounds because there's a few more corners here. So there's one there.
Nice. That was a corner. It was a left turn. See if you playing along at home can work out if we're turning left or right. I will update in the notes afterwards. I'm not going to do that.
Speaking of blinker sounds, let's shout out your uncle. You said your uncle is...
Oh, yeah, big ups, Uncle Gaz, over in the United States. I sent him an email about us talking about the California rugby. He's down for the pod. He's listening. He said the blinker sound's given us street cred. Thanks, Uncle Gaz. Hope you're doing well over there in the desert, mate.
Hang on, what, desert?
He lives in the desert just outside of Los Angeles. So, he lives in a place called 29 Palms. You might be familiar with Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite near that, right? Well, it's close enough. And it's
close enough for our purposes.
Exactly, it'll do for us. It's a weird. It's kind of. I think it's the Inland Empire, and it's a weird part of California, where it's a high desert. I think I'm pretty sure it's a high desert.
Can you tell me what a high desert is?
It gets super cold at night. Like it's like a it's high altitude.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it's not like a... but it's full of either real interesting artists or meth heads and meth factories.
Right.
Yeah, so it's weird out there, but cool. Weird and cool.
So is it the Breaking Bad vibes when you take your RV out?
That kind of vibe. It feels like that out there. It's it's stupid beautiful. It's like kind of like a moonscape.
Right. So how did your uncle find his way out there? Is this your roundabout way of telling me he's a meth cook?
Look, not going to give away Uncle G's secrets, but I'm sure he's been up to something like that in the past. But no, I think it sounds like he made a quite poignant move. Los Angeles seems to be falling apart. He used to live in Los Angeles, and it's now, apparently the homeless problem's really taken over. Which brings me to my next point. I hope you're all doing okay over there. Los Angeles mongrel. I hope things are going okay in LA.
Yes. Well, I suppose it's the time for the mongrel to stand up and really represent people and bring them all together, right?
I'm getting a kind of Snake Plissken vibe from what you're saying, where the mongrel are taking over kind of, this kind of post-apocalyptic hood LA. by dropping shoulder charges and tackles and throwing the ball around a lot.
Is it that bad? Like, what's happening over there? I don't know. I don't know enough.
Look, I can only talk on what I've heard, but so, like, my family, my Uncle Gaz used to live there, and my aunt had a house in Venice in Los Angeles, and we used to go there a lot, and it was lovely. And by all accounts now, it's quite a rich suburb. Like, it's gotten super gentrified, but it's being taken over by a scourge of street dwellers, homeless livers.
That doesn't sound particularly empathetic for people's plights, but okay.
Yeah. No, I get you.
What's contributed to this?
I think the
40 years of Trumpian economics. What are we talking?
Trump plus pandemic, I think, equals homelessness, and there's always been that thing that I think a lot of homeless kind of make their way to LA because it's warm and I think there's a few more benefits, or like you can live on the streets a bit better.
Right.
I think the dream for the homeless is to get to Hawaii somehow. I would assume it would be. Surely it'd be nicer to be homeless in Hawaii.
Well, sure. But like, if you can just get your hands on a boat and get across there, you would be considered a
boat thief.
No, like a
seafarer.
Yeah, rather than that's probably better than maybe we should get off this topic.
Yeah, I don't think it's going good places. But either way, I love Los Angeles and I miss it. And I miss you too, Gary. I hope you're doing well in the desert. Please keep listening, and I'll send you some Tim Tams when I can. He's got a sweet tooth for the old Tim Tam. And
I'm sorry for suggesting you might be a meth cook.
You know, he probably won't he'll take that in his stride. All right, guys. Why don't we talk the elephant in the room, origin squads?
Yeah, I was listening to Bloke in a Bar podcast. If you've all heard that out there, and they were just it was the one with Brett Finch on it. They do a weekly wrap up with Denon Kemp, and Brett Finch comes on. And man, they were getting fired up about how good our backline is for New South Wales. Man, just. Like, where do you get... Well, Tedesco, Adokar, Mitchell, Trebojevic. Like, that's your three quarters. And To'o, sorry.
And To'o. I was going to say, you're missing one. To'o.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they were sort of talking about To'o being essentially a extra forward who's just going to make heaps of meters off kick returns and stuff. Is
To'o possibly going to crumble under the pressure? He's young isn't he, and hasn't done this before, right? So
yeah, and he's shorter. I think he'll get a bomb barrage for sure, because he's kind of replacing Tupou, who was
Man Mountain.
Well, a specialist at taking bombs. So
would have specialist.
Avoided him with bombs.
Yeah,
and gone over to Adokar's side, but I reckon To'o will get a right bombing
from Xavier Coates, right? A bit of Coates on him.
Well, Coates. If those wings line up...
I think they do. I think they do, which is bad for To'o.
Well, Coates is like double To'o's height almost.
Exactly, yeah.
That might be an exaggeration, but...
No, that's usually what you see on a football pitch. One man 2 times as tall as the other man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited by our back line. I think picking Luai as 5'8" was a right move. I'm a bit puzzled by Jake Trebojevic starting as a starting prop. I would have thought he'd be
utility kind of bench
coming off the bench.
Yeah.
After say 20 minutes, after the first 20 minutes, people getting tired, get Jake in there to ball play a bit and be a little bit kind of nippy around the middle.
Yep.
I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to have him start and get belted round in the first 20 minutes when you've got Payne Haas and Junior Paulo sitting on the bench.
Can that be changed? Like, because I saw...
It may well be changed.
I was going to say, like, it's just the OG. It's what they've put out, right?
Freddie will listen to this podcast and...
Freddie does.
And decide that we're, right on top of what we're thinking here. There seems to be obligatory wheezes every year now.
Chuck someone in who's not going in.
Or just rearrange what you said.
Yeah.
The lineup was going to be in some way.
Yep.
I think Whiten is lucky to be there as the 14.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Obviously...
Who else would you have picked there?
Great player, done it before, or Matt Burton, maybe even. I like a bit of smoky occasionally.
Yep.
Might be a step too far, but Gutho is probably more utility value, and he can feel pretty hard done by to not be in the squad.
Do you think Cook is the right choice?
Yes.
He seems kind of bolted on now. It seems like he's in the Origin squad last 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, but I think you don't need 1 or 2 bad games for them to want to bring Appy in.
Yeah.
So,
Appetizer Coruscant.
But Appy's missed quite a few games in recent weeks as well, so he's not necessarily he might not be up to 80 minutes of Origin.
Yeah, fair. And Cook has done some good stuff in Origin.
Oh yeah, he's incumbent, in decent enough form. Appy's maybe just not quite as a certainty, so.
When are we on? Is it 2 Sundays from now, something like that?
I don't know, you asked me that, I didn't know, and neither of us have looked it up, clearly.
Yeah, we don't fact check here.
I think, but otherwise pretty decent. What are you thinking with the...
So, I like the squad. I think that's fine. There is no big... I can't complain about anyone enough to complain about them, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The one thing I'm interested by, I suppose, at the moment, and it kind of comes back to Teddy, but a bit, I get it a bit with the flailing arms of pretty much all our back line, really. How are they gonna ref this game?
Oh, you mean super strict on the...
Yeah. Because I can see a couple of stray arms going and maybe getting 10. And I'm thinking that Teddy's going to go HIA in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think they can. It's the marquee event. It's the big showpiece event. They can't stop it They can't...
What, you mean the second in line, the one just above Magic Round? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. But I think they made their point with Magic Round. Surely they don't need to keep doing it in Origin. I understand what's going on, and people are being appropriately penalised now. That's fine. But you don't have to have the stoppages will be bad. The players might like the stoppages, that's for sure.
Surely. Yeah. So, I don't know. Origin has always been seen as a different level of football where you can kind of get away with a bit more. But I feel like this year...
Well, the State of Origin's always been that step faster than NRL.
Yes, but now, how do you go faster?
I don't know how they're going to go faster than NRL's going at the
Right?
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I don't think I saw anything major in the squad selection. It seemed like that's pretty much, what you'd choose. A couple of ins or outs this way or that way. Same with the Queensland squad. I saw the Queensland squad seemed pretty... I'm more interested now by how it's reffed.
Yeah. Queensland are interesting. It feels like a bit of a wheeze, this Munster thing. He's not going to play, he's not going to play.
He's going to play.
But, yeah, you feel like he's going to play.
Exactly.
But they're also... They've got quite a few people under injury clouds. They've got a big spine problem in that if Munster can't play and Ponga can't play and AJ Brimson can't play because they're all under clouds.
Shit.
That's...
Yeah, good point.
That's...
What happens? Yeah.
Well, I guess they put Val Holmes back at fullback, but I don't know who their 5'8" is. Ben Hunt, maybe, but then who's your utility?
Can I say, too, after watching the Tigers on Friday, Val Holmes ain't great at the moment.
I just don't I think the problem has always been he's one of the most amazing wingers in the world who just decided he wants to be a fullback and doesn't necessarily excel at it.
Did you see his kick? When I say watching the Tigers game, they were the game beforehand. Sorry, that's what I meant. But did you see his monster drop punt to win the drop goal to win the game? That was really far.
I'm waiting for the day because people, get injuries. Sometimes you drag yourself through a game with painkiller shots and so on. You got all the players are just man mountains, 110, 120, 130 kilos, pure muscle and so on.
Wow.
Try celebrations. I'm worried about it. Like, the stacks on. I'm seeing more stacks on.
Just people getting kablomboed, yeah.
Can you imagine facing your coach if you stacks on a try scorer and put him out of the game for weeks?
Love it. I love that. Stacks on a try scorer, yeah. Multiple injury pylon.
Yeah.
Love it.
I just, I cringe every time I see it. Just because someone's going to get hurt and that player's going to...
we have something else about Origin to talk about too. It's going to be in Townsville.
Yeah.
First one's in Townsville.
Yeah. That seems like overkill. Like, I know it's a new stadium.
As far away from the virus as possible.
Cape York, no stadiums up there.
Yeah. For our international listeners, because I suppose we at least know we have one, and that's, probably as many listeners as we have here.
He's from Australia.
No, he's from America. But either way, what I'm saying is we're having a bit of a small outbreak of COVID in the Victoria state where the first game was supposed to be played. So it's been moved far north.
Yeah. So I think, there's just a question around capacity, whether it's good enough for State of Origin level. But in terms of facilities...
do you have any idea the capacity?
20 at the moment. I think it's around... Or, no, 20 to 30. That's a guess.
That's all right then, I suppose.
You want more out of a State of Origin game. But, and again, this is from the Bloke in the Bar podcast, what you'll get up there is cracking conditions for play. It's not going to be cold and slippery and miserable and so on. It'll be crisp and dry ground and conducive to the best play possible. You
are correct. I agree with that. I mean, probably it might even be, I wouldn't go as far as to say hot, but definitely not cold, that far up. It's going to be
footy playing weather. And there was some talk of taking it to Canberra, but that could end up a kind of icy dour affair.
But to be fair, could I say that part of Origin for me is it's a fucking cold Wednesday night, it's like, it's hard conditions.
Yeah. I think if you're going to get all the best players together, you'd like to see some cracking footy rather than drop balls and slipping over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we still saw drop balls and slipping over the way the years go on this year with people just cold dropping balls.
Ooh, that's a hot take from you.
Thank you. Look, I look forward to it. It should be fun.
That's true. It should be fun. It should be fun. Hey, we just drove past Bancroft Avenue. That made me think of bloody Cameron Bancroft again.
Oh, yeah.
And
what's going on with that?
Well, nothing. Like, it's still 3 years in the past, so nothing new's happened.
What's going on with McGill? Any more on that?
Still not learned. You know what?
Bancroft had anything to do with it.
We know a crime reporter or two. Maybe they can find out when that's going to court. So we'll find out when we hear more information about it.
Is there a long-form podcast in this, maybe? The kidnapping of McGill?
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing idea.
Love it.
Fuck.
Yeah, go back into it, see what happened.
I can't put this episode out now. Someone will nick that idea.
Just take this bit out. And
I don't want to. I can't edit. I don't have time to edit. That's why we do it in a fucking car.
Maybe we'll try and...
This is live, baby.
Let them forget about this. You never heard that. That's our idea.
Well,
to be fair, too, if it does become a podcast, we'll know it was you, Gary.
I was about to say, to be realistic, if one of the 5 people who listen take the initiative to make that, then I suppose good on you.
Yeah, fair. None of our listeners have the wherewithal for that. That was an interesting turn by that guy. I don't know.
I don't know if I approve of that.
No,
what can I do? I'm just a guy in a beanie trying to get to work.
Yeah. So some other sporting news this week. Chelsea win the Euro. Now I have a story about this. I think my wife doesn't listen to this podcast, so I can tell this story. I played soccer on Saturday.
Yeah.
Had a few beers with mates because she was at work that evening. Came home. All good, nothing bad. At home by 10, something like that. Yesterday, I looked in my wallet about, I don't know, 10 in the evening, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had put a $5 bet on Chelsea to win, and they won. So I had forgotten putting that bet on, but I won $20. So
There you go. All right.
yeah, I must add $5. I don't usually have cash. I must add $5 cash.
That's all right.
Put it on Chelsea.
You'll shout for lunch then, I guess.
Yeah, sure. If it's under $10.
Yeah, oh, well, we can manage that, I suppose. Yeah, look, that's pretty... Chelsea were not favoured, though, were they?
No, but they weren't you dogs by much. Man City have continued their run of chokes. They can't win the Champions League. They're just not. They don't have the storied oldness. Whereas Chelsea have won it a few times.
So storied oldness is the key? Is that what you're saying?
It's not often you find new teams winning the Champions League.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Can you be old and not storied?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of old and not storied clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me an old and not storied.
Southampton, we haven't won. We won the 75 FA Cup. That's it.
But is winning storied, or is just having a bit of an angle?
Mean just like
a bit of an angle to your history?
Mean just like a dull club.
Were you forged through, I don't know, some interesting means, or?
Yeah, I get you. Our hatred of Pompey, I suppose. You know who strikes me as a boring club? West Tigers. It's an unstoried history besides 05, nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the thing they're remembered most for is baffling administration decisions rather than
true.
On-field greatness.
It's not what you want to be remembered for. What else has happened in the sporting world?
While you're thinking of that, should we give another plug to our new podcast, Dad Pants?
Well, let me bring this right around. Someone has given me, I believe, my stepmother had given us a present of baby New South Wales Blues Origin gear.
Oh, really?
So, hopefully, my future daughter, will be around for one of the Origins to wear it. But so, what that brings us to...
Mean? Oh, you mean she'll be born... What?
Be born in time, yeah. She will be.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
Yeah. But, hopefully she'll be here to see a winning Blues side.
Yeah.
What we're getting at is I'm having a baby. We're making a podcast about it. It's called Dad Pants.
It is. It's Monty and I talking about his impending fatherhood, and the panel of experts we have whenever we need advice. Matt, Rich and Ben, they're there just to guide us through this journey. We'll talk to other people along the way. I thought we might make a list, Monty, of people we might like to talk to. We should do that. That's a production meeting for a different podcast on this podcast.
Whoa, podception. Listen to the podcast. It's good. It's less car recorded. It sounds more professional, less blinker noises.
Yes, but let us know if you think that's an issue. We can put some in.
We can up the blinker noise.
Yeah.
What else is happening? My Swans get another win. After a shaky start, we kind of pushed on. Had a bit of a lull in the middle, but then pushed on hard in the end of the third and fourth to beat a lowly Blues side.
Are you getting any feedback
in the Marngrook?
Are you getting any feedback that people hang out for your Swans updates in these podcasts?
Pretty much the only feedback I'm getting. People hang out for my Swans updates. No, I haven't got any feedback from anyone. But yeah, we're looking good. The big man played very well. Earning that $10 million goal by goal.
And how far is Buddy from his K?
Look, he probably kicked 4 or so. He'd be getting there. I reckon be 30 goals from it. 35 goals.
I think I'm in the wrong lane.
I think you are, but I think you can survive it.
All right.
It's just going to be a little bit hectic for a second here.
All right. Well, there's some sizzle for the podcast.
Yeah, here we go.
Will I get in the lane I need to in time?
Maybe.
Can I turn from this lane?
Oh, my God.
I can!
No, or maybe you can't.
No,
you can!
Yay!
Yay! hey, there's a bed too.
We saw the arrow on the road. It said I can turn from this lane.
There we go. We're good. We're fine again.
What a day.
What a day so far.
We did get stuck in an intersection near your house for 10 minutes. Literally, quite literally 10 minutes.
Glad we didn't record then. There would have been a lot more swears.
Yeah, we had a person in front of us who just would not turn, no matter what was kind of happening in front of them.
There was no way to make them turn. They just weren't going to turn.
Eventually, a guy in a truck behind us had to get out, go and tell the person that they need to turn left instead of turning right against the traffic. Otherwise, like, we've been here 10 minutes, we'll be here all day.
It's true. And the person did.
Yeah, eventually. They just changed their blinker over and then sat there for a bit longer.
Yeah, that's true. It was quite the morning.
I did wake myself up screaming, though, so that's pretty good. What I mean is, it woke me up a little bit.
I thought you had gone back further to the morning, and I was like, is this something you want to bring up now?
Story.
Yeah.
News story.
Yeah.
No, I was feeling a little flat, but that got the adrenaline pumping, made me really angry. And,
nice.
Now I'm fired up for the day.
Nice. There is a ice hockey game on at the moment that I'd like to know the score of. Maybe I can look it up and give us a live update. That's the first time we've had a live update during it.
That's going to mean a lot to somebody listening 2 days from now.
Yeah, well, that's the point. That's how silly live updates are. It is Game 7 of the... it's 0-0 at the end of the first.
I'd be interested to know...
I don't think they say 0-0 either. People always looked at me weird. Canadians.
What do they say?
Or Americans. Tied at 0?
Tied at 0. But, okay, but...
I don't think they call 0-0.
If someone scores, it's 1-0?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think they use 0.
I suppose so. It probably makes more sense to say 0. Is this just another bloody imperial British thing that we've taken over here in Australia?
But you think the Canucks would have taken that as well?
They stepped out of the shadow a touch earlier than us.
They did, that's true. We still are in that shadow.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll try and become we'll get rid of the monarchy?
Yeah.
When she's gone?
Yeah.
Will we change all the money?
Will we change the money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, why wouldn't we change the money? It's got a noggin all over it.
Well, I think you can be part of the Commonwealth but still be, whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
A republic.
Well, what's the fucking point?
I think it'd be expensive to change all our money.
Yeah, probably, but you got to do it sometime.
Although I suppose the money we're using could pay for itself.
Yeah. Perhaps the indigenous people of our land would like to maybe us form some sort of country that wasn't so leaning so heavily towards an imperial past.
I like the sound of that.
Yes. Well, I'm pretty happy with how I said it. We've got some athletes going on the way to Tokyo. That's going to be a fucking shit fight, isn't it?
Yeah, fuck. I don't think it's going to happen. It just feels like it's not going to come together.
Yeah. Do you feel disaster happening, like massive outbreak kind of style that rips through all the athletes and then they bring it all home to all their countries?
Yeah, maybe. And it's a new strain, some hectic strain.
Yeah, undetectable strain.
Zombifies you. Maybe. It's a worry.
Yeah.
When is the start date? Kickoff date for... It's July, is it?
Yeah, it's always July, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, it's always usually last year too. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. Hey, I think we should wrap this up as
we're trailing off and the engine noise is getting a bit louder, I feel, so...
Yeah. Now, we'll leave you with this. We're just about to drive over the Harbour Bridge. It's a beautiful view of Sydney Harbour, the Opera House. It's a bit smoky today.
Yeah, again, a weather update and a live score update on a podcast you might listen to sometime in the future. That's what we're providing here. Listen to Dad Pants.
Please.
I punch your butt. I punch your butt. I punch your butt. I punch your butt all day long. I punch your butt. I punch your butt. I punch your butt. I punch your butt all day long. I punch your butt all day long. I punch your butt all day long. I punch your butt. I punch your butt. I punch your butt. I punch your.
Hello, my name is Piers Grove, and I'm a founder, publisher, and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then, everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu.
I'm Rachel.
And we are fans
Obsessives might be the word.
of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
We lived it.
We lived it, we were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.